Welcome to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be looking at a few Waxplanet products.
Lil guns down, lil guns down, lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, getting kinda loud, singing all the time.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 3 products from Waxplanet, okay? Now, Waxplanet was started about, I think 2013 by a chap called Tony Coulson, okay? The legend Tony Coulson. So I first started talking to Tony back when I was doing the wax vlog videos, so I didn't know anything about making waxes. Still don't know much more. But when I started, you know, didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know, melting those waxes down in the saucepan and all that sort of stuff. Tony was one of the first guys to kind of reach out and give me a hand, give me some pointers. You know, he didn't say you need to do this, that and the other. It was just some little pointers. And then over the next few months talking to Tony and me getting more into it and researching kind of more ingredients and stuff, we kind of shared more information up until the point now where he probably knows more about what's in my waxes than I do, which isn't a good thing. But there you go. So yeah, Tony's a top guy, really helpful and really nice, and knows what he's doing, by the way, as well. Okay, like I said, he's light years ahead of where I am with this. Been doing it a lot longer. Probably he's in the thousands now of brews. He's virtually brewing every night. When I talk to him on Facebook, he's probably out there making waxes. So if you check out the Waxplanet website, and again I'll put a link for it in the description, you will see a range of these waxes that Tony's developed over the last few years. And I believe there's 7 core waxes there, and I did have all the names of them locked away because I was just asking Tony about them, but I've left me a bit of paper upstairs. It's not important. Go and have a look on the website and you can see their core range of waxes, okay? And the one we really liked in the PVD mega test was one called Oblivion, which I think is a fantastic wax. But they've got eye wax, they've got one here we're going to talk about called White Noise. They've got, I think, a limited run one called Biohazard or Bioshock or something like that. And there's another one, it might be Red X or something like that. You know, the names aren't important. You can go and have a look on the website and find those names out. Sorry, I should have written them down. Now, Tony very recently as well has kind of, you know, you start off in waxes and it can take, you can be playing around with waxes for the rest of your life. There's so much complexity there, you know, depending on where you want to go. But Tony recently, or probably it's going back a few months now, probably at least 6 months, started messing around with detail sprays and working on detail spray formulations. I've seen, you know, I get some updates on him every now and then on how it's going. And he finally brought a detail spray to market called Expression Quick Detailer, okay? So I'll flash all the prices up for these because I don't know the prices off the top of my head. But what I do know about this detail spray is Tony's using SiO2, an SiO2 additive to help provide, I believe, some protection and leave some protection there on the paintwork, okay? And he's also using gloss boosting kind of polymers in this detail spray. So beyond that, I don't know too much about the formulations. You know, we share information, but he's not going to tell me the formula for it because that wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for him. So that's the detail spray. Let's talk about the paste wax next, okay? So the paste wax is called White Noise, and this is one I'm interested in, okay? Now the first thing, I'll just show you some pictures of how smooth and how nice looking the blend is, because we talked about that in the Angel Wax video about how well their waxes didn't show any signs of those things that can go wrong. And Tony's wax as well, it's got that smooth kind of ice rink quality. But beyond the blending of this wax, the first thing that's unique about this wax, okay, that you probably won't have experienced before, is that it is 100% by wax volume. So the only wax that's used in this is Montan, okay? Now Montan wax, if you watch my wax log videos, which go on a bit, is a lovely crystalline glossy wax, okay? Probably the most glossiest wax, I believe, even more glossy than the Carnauba, which is slightly more, has a slightly more opaque character to it. Still provides lots of gloss, but this is a slightly more crystalline type of gloss. So that's the number one thing about Montan. When you're using a wax that's 100% Montan based, expect it to be glossy, okay? Now, there's a reason that I don't think there's any other 100% Montan wax blends out there, okay? Montan is a hard crystalline wax, and like Carnauba, it's very hard to make a wax with just Carnauba that functions, okay? Because Carnauba will be too dry and cake-like, but Montan, you would think, would be too brittle because it's a brittle wax, and I've done raw blends with it, you know, with just Montan, and mine are just shattered to pieces, okay? So when Tony told me about this and I was interested in it, he was going to send it over, I just thought this wax is going to be brittle and it's going to be dry. Okay, so I've used it, you know, it's done a car now, and the wax hasn't kind of split, you know. I was expecting great big gouges and cracks all the way through it. The wax as well isn't dry at all, it's actually really well oiled. Once you start working it, it oils up, and I think he's had to put quite a lot of carrier oil and the kind of solvents in there to keep that Montan in this state. But to be able to get a wax that's stable like this, where you're using such a high amount of Montan, so not only is it 100% Montan, there's a really high Montan content in this by volume, okay? I'm not going to say what it is because I'm not sure if Tony would want me to, but it's very high. So the next thing with Montan wax, it produces a beautiful gloss, okay? A really pure crystalline gloss, as opposed to the sort of slightly opaque gloss that Carnauba seems to give. There is a disadvantage. One other advantage obviously is the fact that Montan is hard as well, so it wears well. It's not like a softer wax like your kind of paraffin or your kind of beeswax, which is a bit softer, you know. So it's a hard wax, so on its own it should provide a reasonable shelf life or durability. Now Tony has added some synthetic ingredients to help with that durability, increase it a little bit more, and also help counteract one problem with Montan, which is the lack of water and oil repellency. It's the least kind of repellent of all the waxes, if you like. So Tony's put some synthetic additives in there to help with that, so that it's never Montan. A wax with this much Montan in it is never going to be prolific. It's not going to be a Fuso that's throwing the water off the car, okay, and beading like crazy. But it's still going to be repellent. And like I say, what you're getting with this wax, you're not getting something that's going to last you a year. Tony says about 3 months. What you are getting, and you're not getting that, you know, that hydrophobic thing like Fuso. What you're getting is a pure crystalline gloss. So this is very much in that show wax kind of ilk. Better in summer, okay, where you can lay it down and it's not going to get hit by the weathering so much, and you're not quite as concerned about the hydrophobic qualities, but you're more concerned about how it makes your car look. This wax is easy to apply, okay? It feels waxy. There's a little bit of drag with these natural based wax ones, especially with a hard wax that's not using any other waxes to soften it. So you have to get it going. Once you start getting that applicator going and the oils seem to come out of the wax well, then it becomes easier to work. So as you start working your way around the car, the application process kind of speeds up, okay? Now I think Tony says, you know, the standard with waxes is you put them on, you kind of leave them for 10 minutes and you buff them off. With this, I think you don't get any dry cure, so the amount that you leave it is really down to you. There's no need to go beyond 10 minutes, but you could leave it potentially a little bit less and wipe it off. As always, don't go throwing it on, you know, put all your waxes on thinly. If you do overload with this wax, it's not a problem, because like I say, it doesn't dry cure, so it will come off, you know. If you're going to build up all of these waxes, because you can fall into the trap of having too many and not being able to use them all in like 5 lifetimes, you know, even if you had 200 cars. If you're going to build a range of waxes, it's good to get some waxes that offer something a little bit different. So if you've not tried a Montan wax and you don't know what they're about and you want to see the difference, think of this wax as something similar to kind of R222. It's like a show wax that's all about the gloss. It's going to give you more durability than R222. This is going to last you, this is going to last you a few months. I haven't had a chance to kind of see how it fades, but I know I trust Tony on his kind of on his durability claims, because 3 months is realistic. It's when they tell you 3 years you've got to start worrying, So you should get about 3 months out of it. It has been fortified to give you more durability. And if you've not tried a Montan wax out and you like the idea of using a pure Montan wax so you can really see what Montan is all about, then give White Noise a try. This next product is called Maracana, okay, and it's a liquid wax. So what they mean by liquid wax is it's typically based in, it's typically mixed with water, okay, not always, sometimes it can be a solvent mix, but this is a water-based emulsion, okay. So they put the emulsifier in to make the wax and the water compatible, and they'll be able to mix together in a loose liquid paste that's got a lot of water in it. It's less potent than a paste wax, okay, so you're adding water into there and the emulsifier, and that emulsifier, which makes the wax more friendly and will mix with the water, in turn I believe weakens the wax slightly. Well, I don't understand the chemistry. I think John Holt told me that, and the Angel Wax guy, and it's what I'd observed as well. They're a little bit less potent. The advantage of a liquid wax is you can get it on the car so quick. It's so spreadable, and you don't have to be careful with how you spread. You don't have to kind of work it into a thin film. You can just chuck this stuff on. I know you shouldn't. You should do it with a bit of care, don't do the old squirt it all over, but put it on your applicator, get it on the panel, and just, you can get around your car in a couple of minutes quite easily, and then you wait a few minutes till it starts to dry, and then you buff it off, and again, because it's water based, because it's a liquid wax, it comes off a lot easier. It gives you a nice deep shine, and it's quick to use. That's the most important thing. So you can almost think of it as a kind of halfway house between a really good detailer spray and a paste wax. Something like that, where you don't have to really buff hard on your paint to remove the product, and you don't have to really kind of spread that product like you do with the paste waxes. Maracana is also a Montan based emulsion, okay, so it will complement the White Noise product really well. So first up is the Expression Quick Detailer from Waxplanet. So the first thing to say about this, guys, is the emulsification is perfect. So there's a lot of products out there that are kind of thrown together, and the formulations are always a bit of a grey area, and you kind of see product building at the bottom or product floating on the top or bits in it and stuff like that. That always worries me. The product should be smooth, okay, and you shouldn't, it should be well emulsified, because there's no reason why these products should all be separated. It's a bad sign. So box number 1 ticked. I've also had a chance to use Waxplanet's new detailer, the Expression product, okay? This leaves a lovely gloss on the paintwork. There is no way, even if you throw loads of it on, it will streak on you, and I've tested that as well. That's one of the things I look out for. If you overload the product, does it leave kind of white film and residue that's hard to remove? It doesn't. It leaves a nice slick feel to the paintwork, and it leaves tons of gloss, and it provides as well, speaking to Tony, it's got a little bit of a SiO2 additive in it, which is something that he's been working on for a long time, I know, and that's to try and add a little bit of protection through the detail spray as well. It's a road or a chemistry I'm completely unfamiliar with, because I don't know anything about it, but I know Tony's been working on it for a while, so that's cool. So the Expression Detailer as well, from what I've seen of it, a really good detail spray with a slight emphasis on gloss for me, and a little top up in protection, which is what a lot of people want nowadays as well. So I'm really liking this, and I'll carry on using this till I've emptied the bottle to try and build up a kind of more fuller picture of it. But so far so good. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this video up now. So this has been really great for me. I mean, I've been talking to Tony about Montan waxes for ages. It was really nice of him to send me through his 2 kind of Montan paste waxes and his Montan emulsion, which I like both of them, okay. and the detailer spray. I know that's been a ton of work over the last kind of 6 months or years with Tony, and so I'm really pleased that he's brought his own detail spray out to the market, and it's all formulated by himself, you know. And Tony told me it took him 33 blends just to get white noise correct. Okay, and that's probably, you know, I don't know how many brews or goes rounds I've done at making waxes so far. I'm probably somewhere between 50 and 100. Well, Tony must be up in the thousands, or probably the tens of thousands. So a lot of work goes into these products, guys. It really does. You know, it's quite a pain to kind of fire up all the waxes and get everything out and get your recipe down and make your modifications and then try it and then go and test it and then come back and do it again and make sure that testing's proper. It's like a little cycle, and each time you do a blend, it's like a cycle. And it's a lot of work, and you can, at the moment, my motivation to do it is gone, and finding the time is really difficult. So the amount of effort that's gone in to create this blend, and then all the other wax blends that Tony's done, and all the stuff that he's working on now and kind of developing, it's a hell of a lot of work, and it's not easy work. So big respect to Tony from Waxplanet. Thank you very much for all the help you've given me with the waxes, and I look forward to chatting to you more about all this kind of fun and game stuff over the next year. So brilliant stuff. Okay guys, this was just a quick one. My most important point I want to get across is, if you haven't heard of Waxplanet, go and have a look at their website. Just have a browse around. You'll see the white noise, you'll see all those other products I've talked about. And if you like the sound of what I've just said about crystalline high gloss, check out these Montan wax offering from the Wax Pack, White Noise, Maracana, and their new Quick Detailer spray. I'll see you again shortly. Thank you very much for watching.
I'm on the highway.